Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the Kushmerek Connection. As always, I want to start by just thanking FATV for their diligent work and allowing and giving us this platform to be able to talk to the constituents of the 3rd Worcester District. And no stranger to FATV, and certainly no stranger to the 3rd Worcester District, is my friend, my colleague, and my partner, Mayor Stephen L. DiNatale. Mayor, thank you for joining us.
Representative, it's great to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Now, former school committee member, former city councilor, former state representative, and now mayor. You've got some experience in the local government, I'd say.
Yeah, I missed the Senate, though. I mean, that was it, you know, but yeah.
You're not missing much. I think you're just fine.
Yeah. It's probably true.
So we've known each other a long time. I think.
I met you when you were in Fitchburg State.
That's
when
right.
You were in college.
I think it must have been. What was your first year in the House? Was it 2006?
Something like that.
Okay, yeah. I think it must have been that first year.
Yeah.
You were holding a hearing on higher ed affordability or something at Fitchburg State.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Then I was on higher ed committee, as you are. I think
right.
you are now.
I am not now, but I work closely with the committee.
I mean, every year I was in,
Right.
that was one of the committees that I was assigned to.
Yeah.
So, because I wanted to, but
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's, I think back too, it feels like just yesterday, but I think the start of the inauguration of you as mayor, and I was joining you as council president, and, really kind of the first time, and after knowing each other for a decade, then actually getting the opportunity to work with you.
Yeah, that was, we have, it's been a while, Mike. So you think 06, you think?
I think it was 06.
Wow.
Since
been that long?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't think you were that old. I mean,
I wasn't. I was probably 19. Yeah, I wasn't then, and I'm not now.
Those were the days of Bob Antonucci.
That's
too.
right. That's right.
God.
Yeah, my mentor. Yeah.
I'll miss Bob always, but every now and then we keep in touch.
Yeah.
You know.
So you spent 9 years in the state legislature.
Yeah.
And I think some things have changed probably dramatically since then, and some things are exactly the same in terms of the legislature. I guess walk me through what that experience was like going from city council to state rep for you.
Yeah, I think it's one of those positions that the general public knows nothing about. What does that person do? They don't know. Yeah. They think they know, but and then some people don't want to know. Yeah. But it was, it was. I can remember the campaigning. You try to say all the right things, but you have no idea until you get there.
That's right.
How wrong you were.
Right. Yeah.
But you try to make it sound good, but
and you learn quickly too.
Oh, you do.
Within the first month, you realize.
And I
knew nothing.
I served for two speakers.
Sure.
Sal DeMacy.
That's right.
And then Bob DeLeo. So with DeMacy, it was certainly the baptism by fire. I mean, he was very, very different than Bob DeLeo.
Sure.
But a good guy, and we got along well. But I miss. It's like everything. When you leave a job, you miss more than anything. It's not the job; it's the people.
Of course.
And that's the same with the legislature. Some of them that are still there, good friends of mine, will be for life.
I was just going to ask you about that. Everyone says it's about the people, and I always thought it was so cliche. And it's about the people you meet. That's the best part of the job, and it's the most important part of the job. And I thought, well, what a cliche thing to say. Yeah, but that's true about any job. Sure enough, within 30 to 60 days, I realized, this isn't a cliche at all. And now I'm singing the praises of it truly is about the people.
Yeah.
It's a 160-person body. It's the size of an average high school class, graduating class.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of dynamics and people that have been there for 30 years and have been, working towards policy initiatives and goals their entire adult career. And this is their culminating moment, and they don't always have time to slow down and show you the ropes. They're
a lifetime. People that I met and established relationships with will be for the rest of my life. Guys like Smitty, Representative Pignatelli out in Lenox, Jim Acero, Westford, John Fernandez, who's no longer in the legislature, out of Milford.
Sure.
Good friend. One of the smartest men I ever met.
You know, it really is remarkable to me how often, you know, I know you often talk about those connections, but it really hit me these past 6 months of as we're going back into the chamber, and when I was just there last week, everyone I talked to of, your mayor was the best, you know, best thing that's ever. And so
because we had a lot of laughs.
Yeah. Well, Jamie Murphy said you were the best thing that's ever happened to the city of Fitchburg.
Wow.
And, so certainly high praise, and you know, I think that's the value of spending time in the building and building those connections and being able to get things done.
Yeah.
So how have those connections then helped you in that transition from state legislature to mayor?
You know, Rep, you can't downplay how important those are. Because that's what I tell people. I'm fortunate because you're only as good as the people around you. And I've been lucky and fortunate enough to put people in place that are professionals, that are experts, know what they're doing. And knock on wood, we've been very successful with that, with those teams that we've compiled, if you will, put together. That's something that I can't. There's no way I could match that. I don't pretend to. That's what I tell these guys. That's why we pay you.
That's right.
You're the expert. You're the guy that knows what's going on, or the gal. But there is one thing that most people don't do as well as I do, and that is capitalizing on relationships.
Absolutely.
The relationships that I've established. The relationships made when I was in the legislature, I mean, just at this level as mayor, just go light years beyond where you would be if you didn't have those relationships. Right. The things that are happening in the city, and there's a lot going on. We just met this morning with I had my mayor's meeting with the chamber, and fortunately, these guys are coming back at me saying, we can't believe what's going on. Things are really, really humming in the city of Fitchburg. There's a lot left to do, but we do. We have a lot in that pipeline. Not just Main Street, off of Main Street as well. Game On, Amazon, Great Wolf, and we're capitalizing on that. Economic development is what we are focused on, and will continue to be.
There's so much to be optimistic about that's in the pipeline.
Right, and those relationships at the state level are just, you just couldn't do it without them.
Well, and it's one of not every good idea is going to come right out of the city of Fitchburg.
Yeah.
Other people have, you know, invented the wheel before us, and they'll do it after us. And that ability for, you know, I think Lowell and Worcester are some of those success stories of gateway communities that have really, they've been at it for 30 years, and now they're seeing their renaissance. And those cities are saying, you're where we were 10 years ago. You're right on the cusp. And the ability for you to pick up the phone and call your former colleagues like Tommy Golden in Lowell, or Harriet Chandler in Worcester, that goes a long way.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And the state agencies that are involved, MassDOT, places like that. I mean, organizations like that, economic development. I mean, that's being able to pick up the phone and know who you're talking to, the Mike Keneally's of the world.
Right.
People like that. We just met the
executive director of the Mass Cultural Council.
Yeah. Right.
Michael Bobbitt.
Yeah. Great. Very impressed. Thank you for bringing him out here, by the way. You know,
no, of course. It's like, to your point, it's about leveraging those assets. And
that's what it is.
And when someone's coming in and introducing themselves in the legislature saying, hey, I'd love to show you my hometown and show you what we're doing. And because, you know, I think we repeatedly need to beat that drum in Boston of, hey, we're out here and we're doing amazing things, and you can learn from us, and they are.
And I think that's what's happening. They're moving. The movement for biotech, things like that, is happening, moving more and more west, because of the cost to do business is so prohibitive in some respects in Boston, that's what makes us appealing here, and we're tapping into that.
That's exactly it. And we're seeing residents move, you know, an infusion of new residents who previously lived in Waltham and Woburn and Cambridge and Somerville, who are saying, I got priced out, but now I can move to Fitchburg and to north central Massachusetts. I can have, you know, the single family home with the picket fence and a half acre of land, you know, and I can have that for an affordable rate and still jump on the train and be in Boston for 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning.
And I mentioned to those business gentlemen this morning, that they were all men, I don't know where the women were, but about the fact that that single tax rate was so important to the city. And I gave the credit, and the credit really falls on the council. And you were the president at the time to have moved it so quickly. We all thought it was going to be chipped away at.
Yeah.
But you really decisively, directly went to that single tax rate, shocked the heck out of me, and you know what? Pleasantly, and it was, and here we are. They were commenting on the fact that it was voted again to keep a single tax rate.
That's wonderful.
I said, I don't think we're going back.
No.
We're going to continue this. It's the right thing to do. It's already showing benefits.
That's right.
And dividends. So it was the right thing to do.
There was that special moment in time where we picked the direction long before, and being able to, when the conditions are right, be able to strike. And there was that particular time where I think we were starting to see a lot of momentum, and it was, let's put our foot on the gas, let's accelerate into this growth and change.
Great deal of credit goes to the council for that. It really does.
Well, it's a partnership, right? And it's the state delegation, it's the mayor, it's the council, and we all have to work in concert together.
Yeah.
And so, I guess to that point of you are part of a pretty dynamic delegation with then Senator Flanagan and many of the regional colleagues are still here, Rep. Ferguson, Rep. Zlotnick, Rep. Harrington. Can you talk to the strength of, how to work a delegation so it plays to the strength of a region and the strength to the city of Fitchburg?
I mean, that you know what it is in the legislature. You know this, Mike. You probably noticed it right off the bat. They listen when there's more noise than they're comfortable with, right. And the more people to make noise, the more successful your cause is going to be.
That's right.
And that's what was important and is important about a cohesive delegation. And we had that. I think you had that as well. But that's very important. And having Jen Flanagan kind of ramrodding the whole thing was wonderful. She knew her stuff, knows her stuff, and
I think Senator Cronin's following in those same footsteps and looking to really be a strong leader of the delegation. And that's part of the strength too. Is we're a tripartisan delegation. We've Rep. Whips out in Athol. As the state's only independent, we've got 2 Republicans in our delegation and Rep. Harrington and Ferguson. So we can tackle things from multiple angles between the parties, and it really can be a nonpartisan advocacy for our region.
So elusive, but that's what it should be.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It's very, very difficult to get that, particularly nowadays.
I keep telling everybody, come to North Central Massachusetts. We'll show everybody how it's done. Congress should come here, and I know we have a tremendous partner in Lori Trahan, but it would be great to have the rest of Congress come to Beacon Hill and see how the North Central delegation does it. That's it.
That would be great. Yeah.
Well, Mayor, there's tremendous growth over your first 6 years as mayor, and delighted to be working with you in the next 2 years ahead.
Thank you,
what in our last 60 seconds, what gives you optimism and hope for the future of Fitchburg?
It's always the people of Fitchburg, isn't it, though? I mean, you use the word, it's thrown out probably more than it should. Resiliency.
Yeah.
They've really shown it during this pandemic. But no one collaborates better than the city of Fitchburg, with people within it and without.
That's right.
And I think we'll always tap into that as a strength and a resource that makes us successful. And I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to continue tapping into that wonderful resource that we've got as a community. And the things that are in the pipeline that we're talking about, that you're really going to see them start popping in 22, 23, and 24. So
character and resiliency at the heart of the future of Fitchburg.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Mayor DiNatale, thanks again.
Thank you, Rep. Appreciate it.
Coming And welcome back. I'm thrilled to be joined by Elmer Melendez, who is the owner of Tacos Tequilas, the newest addition on Main Street, as well as Dario's Brick Oven in Lunenburg and Dario's Ristorante on River Street in Fitchburg, as well as Bandoleros in Fort Devens. It's an amazing portfolio of restaurants. You are an entrepreneur, you are a business owner, and you are an amazing community member. Elmer Melendez, thank you for joining me on the show.
Thank you, my friend. It's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting us here to.
So, I mean, in 10 years, you've really grown from a small brick oven in Lunenburg to a restaurant group.
Yeah, it started with a dream, and that dream sometimes become a nightmare. And after that, we keep dreaming. Yeah, we keep dreaming and see opportunities, try to capture some opportunities, and get the opportunity to start to work in Lunenburg. Lunenburg is starting to Fitchburg, and Fitchburg was very special for us because it's the community engage us as welcome us very well, and I did like that. I feel very like a Fitchburgian when I am.
You are. I mean, you are Fitchburg. I think you are one of our own, and it's. I know you weren't born in Fitchburg, but I guess backing up, how did you come to North Central Massachusetts, and how did you become the loudest and proudest member of the Fitchburg community?
Just accident maybe.
Yeah.
Yes. 91, the first time my cousin and I drove through Main Street in Fitchburg. Yep. 2001, I go back around Main Street with my wife, my kids, and when I drive through Main Street, I see New England. Yeah. Fitchburg is one of them, to me, I could be wrong, but to me, Fitchburg represents New England. You feel New England. You see the hills, you see everything in
the quintessential Main Street of America.
Yeah, and we get opportunity to open a business in Lunenburg. After that in Fitchburg, and the community been very supportive, but there's a lot more to do here, my friend.
There is a lot of work to do, and I think for years people have been talking about the potential, and but it takes a lot to take that risk and make that investment, and you saw that potential and you took that risk.
Yeah, I see the opportunity, which. Again, I get brought different. My eyes see things different. I don't see the little picture. I want to see the big picture.
Right.
And to me, Fitchburg is one of the cities that I think I said before. It's beautiful before the 1920s Fitchburg, but what about the 2025 Fitchburg?
Right. Right.
And what are you doing about it? Or what everybody can do about it to see the new Fitchburg, the 2025 Fitchburg. It's great to have the 1920s, but what about the 2025? And the only way to, like you guys, the mayor, it's a big group of people in the community working hard to make this happen. But if we don't work together as a community, we will be harder. But I think we're in the right time. We're taking chances, we're taking risk, but at the same time, it's very grateful to see slowly. I really was a little scary when the COVID hit us, because before that I can see movement going forward, and now I can see the momentum. We don't lose much momentum. And
I think that's so true. Fitchburg always had these fits and these starts of, there was the early 2000s and the dot-com era recession, and it was like, we lost our momentum. And then there was the Great Recession, and we felt like we lost the momentum. And when COVID hit, I think there was this collective, here we go again. And you know what? That's when entrepreneurs like yourself really leaned in and saw that there'll be some economic opportunity here. Not only to breathe some new life into business in Main Street, but to get people back to work. And it's exactly what we needed. And government can only do so much. then we need our business community and our workers to do what they do best, which is get us back to work and get our economy going. And you leaned right into it, my friend, and you launched, Fitchburg's newest restaurant and downtown's newest restaurant, and it was exciting, and it became a reason of, no, we're not taking a step backwards, we're moving forward.
Yes, I think talking about the COVID, the best thing I think one of the more satisfactory thing for me was to see how the community support.
Yeah.
When we was able to do takeout, was a line of people outside of Dario supporting the business, not just Dario, every single business in the city. And it's when I said, you know what, we are community.
That's right.
In the region, we're talking about around Fitchburg, too. The community support so hard, man, that motivate me, like give me like fuel, like energy. They said we gotta make this happen. We have to. We don't have a choice. And I sometimes as a community we want to the politicians do the job. You guys can do no much if we don't support you guys, if we don't back you guys.
It's this team approach, right?
Have to be.
And I remember thinking, when I first joined the city council 8 years ago, and talking about breathing life into Main Street and focusing on Main Street, and people thought, I remember people saying, you're crazy. Main Street isn't coming back. That's a lost cause. And I remember again when Mayor Di Natale came in and he said, we're going to focus on Main Street. And people said, you're crazy. That's not going to happen. And slowly but surely, and I think it was persistence there of setting the tone and the direction. But to your point, we can only do so much. And it was then the business community that stepped up, and they also saw the vision. And don't get me wrong, there are still moments where it's a little bit scary, and it's like you said, the dream is sometimes the nightmare, and there's always these points of, oh no, are we going to take a step backwards? The nice part is, we've had these opportunities. The Secretary of Economic Development, Mike Keneally, when he came, I remember the first stop, we walked from Strong Style Coffee to Tacos Tequilas and walked through right before you opened.
Yep.
And he saw the vision. And I remember looking around that room and seeing all of the people who had an investment stake in downtown were there. And it was so indicative of, when we come together as a city, there's nothing we can't do.
Yeah, I think we, as a community, we can do a lot. We need the support from institutions,
yes,
but the communities who make this thing happen.
Right.
I would love to see Fitchburg a destination place, but we have the community, but before be a destination place, should be a community place.
Right, absolutely.
Stay in the community, spend in the community, support the community. Yes, it's a lot of challenges, but we can overcome the challenges together.
So I often hear residents will say, that we're, particularly before, but I still hear it a little bit of people complain, I don't want to have to go to Leominster, or I don't want to have to go to Worcester or Boston to get a good meal or to get something. And I think slowly but surely, folks like yourself are saying you don't have to. You can get it right here. But then you can only, if the politicians can only do so much and business owners can only do so much, what does the community need to know about, when you take that big risk and leap of faith?
I think it's believe in us as a community. I think I see some split, some like a loss of faith. But we live here. They live here.
It's a point of pride.
Yes. You know what? We have to be proud to be in Fitchburg. Don't be ashamed to be in Fitchburg. I see like you said, when I did open Dario's and River Street, I reinvent myself a couple times over there. I have to do something. I have to find out what is good for the community. Boom, we find it. Now we see the community coming in and supporting us. But I really believe it's a belief. And longer you believe what you want to do, the community have to believe in what you guys trying to do. And yes, I believe in support, my friend. Support, grow together. And I want to see Fitchburg in 2030. You know, I want to see what's happening in 10 more years from now, what we going to be. And I promise to you, we're going to be in different positions because I can see that the people are starting to feel less stressed, more relaxed about walking in Main Street. New places coming to Main Street. Yesterday I was in River Stick. You see so many good things happening. I think the theater is going to be happening very soon too, right?
That's right. The Fitchburg State University, the theater block is coming online, and B.F. Brown is, hopefully about to be under construction in the next year. That's another 68 residents.
Yes.
Morin Square, the new Harper's Furniture building, and the fire station. It's every point of Main Street. You can see evidence of this progress. Right?
It's a big Main Street to fill it up.
It is.
It's not to block.
Right.
People outside, you see this city, this Main Street, I told them that is block and a half Main Street.
Right.
We have a mile Main Street.
That's right.
That is different to fill it out, the Main Street.
It's one of the longest main streets in the entire Commonwealth.
But we can make it work. I can see all the new things like a Darius. We building the new Darius right now. I was talking to you. I want to be realistic. When we going to open Darius?
That's right.
Realistic? I want to open now.
Right.
But all the work that need to be done, the work we've been done I really believe May. I hope by Mother's Day, that week.
By Mother's Day and the old Fitchburg Gas and Electric building.
Yeah.
It's one of those historic buildings in our downtown.
That is so beautiful, that place.
And I cannot wait till we're seated inside and the huge windows opening to Main Street, and to see people walking by between the theater and the B.F. Brown housing project and Fitchburg State, and hopefully walking between your restaurants
yes,
too. Right?
It's 4 blocks one or the other. But the good thing is now we don't. I try to give you no reason to people don't go out from Fitchburg.
Yeah,
we have good places or backyards.
Right.
But sometimes we forget that we have them. We have Slarry's. We have so many good places, Zapatas.
We have
so many beautiful places, but we forget. I don't know why.
We have a gem of a restaurant community, and there is just so much to see and do. And we're out of time today, but I'm excited next spring to walk. We'll have a drink at Tacos Tequilas, and we'll head to Dario's on Main Street for lunch. And I'm just thankful to you for all of the investments you've made and the faith that you have in the city of Fitchburg. And to our viewers at home, make sure that you frequent. When you see these new businesses open, make sure you go there, you frequent them, and you support them because there is a success story behind each one of these new businesses. So again, to our FATV hosts, thank you so much for hosting us. To all the viewers at home, thank you for joining us. And please stay tuned for our next episode, episode 4 of the Kushmerek Connection. And that will feature City Council Vice President Elizabeth Walsh and Veteran Services Commissioner Bill Saladini. Thank you again. We'll see you next time.